Dan Campbell fucking makes me want to run through a brick wall for good reasons and for bad reasons.
The first half looks so good. That's the thing. You go through the roller coaster of emotions where you're like, wow, okay. Super Bowl, what are we doing? Oh, wow. So Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl? You're thinking that first half. And then it just fucking goes down.
At that moment in time, I didn't want to, like, be speaking negatively to you, but, like, because I know you would have cried, Cameron, and I'm sorry, like, in the moment, you were even like, stop. Like, don't talk like that. And I'm like,
I look over at him on the couch and he's like,
I'll show. No, literally, go split screen. I was like this. I was in between the couch cushions like this.
I walk up to go to the bathroom. He's just like, I said, God damn, George, they haven't lost yet.
I was like, fuck yeah, they lost.
Spirits up.
Beware, old man before. That's what today felt like. It felt like that sound just on repeat in my head. And it was partially because Cameron, during the games today, brought up going to Antarctica, and I was like, oh, do I have a fun fact about Antarctica? That's where the Drake Passage is. And I was like, I guarantee you, I'm going to click on a TikTok, show you the Drake Passage, and you're going to hear, people. I don't even know what the fuck they're saying. I mean, but it's ominous. It's scary. And after I played that, that is when the day went to absolute shit. Everybody knows that I have been riding very high on the Lions all season long. I jumped on the train of the Lions are a good team. End of last year, bought into them hard this year. And, you know, just 1 year of buying into a team that plays the way that the Lions play. You know, I've been drinking Juneberry Red Bulls, right? It's Lions colors. Like, I bought into the culture. Dan Campbell fucking makes me want to run through a brick wall for good reasons and for bad reasons. But there's been one person along this journey with me that has been cheering for the Lions a lot longer than I have. And when I tell you that the loss today in the Lions games affected Cameron in a way I've never seen a game affect her before. She's lost money before in games. I've not seen this reaction. This reaction was, holy shit, we were so close. And I am now going to just open the floor up to you.
Okay. I'm bummed. There was a point even I put all my bets in and I was like, I don't care about my bets. I don't care. I just want the Lions to win. That's all I wanted. I didn't even want. I just want them to win. And they, the first half looks so good. That's the thing. You go through the roller coaster of emotions where you're like, wow, okay. Super Bowl, what are we doing? Oh, wow. So Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl? You're thinking that first half. And then it just fucking goes down. Oh, it's heartbreaking. I've never felt this because, I mean, 1991, I wasn't born yet. So, yeah. Yeah, it's heartbreaking for sure. I can't even imagine how my dad feels, but
yeah. Your dad
I feel shitty.
I told you to call him. I
texted him. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad." So, well, he's probably not. He's super bummed. I know my dad, George.
I would imagine he is pretty bummed. I'm pretty bummed because fuck, dude, I could have turned $10 into 1,900. Had two teams. One today, I advance another week in feeling I would actually have to wait a whole nother week because we have no football this upcoming week other than the Pro Bowl, and then we have the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So I would have fucking had that sweat going. Kiki had told me something today. He was like, you know, G, we can make that hedge. He's like, everything goes good today. We'll talk about the hedge and how we can make this happen. And I'm like, I didn't want to tell him on the phone right now, I'm not fucking hedging this bet, okay? I want to feel exactly the way I feel right now, which is crushed. but times 10 if they were in the Super Bowl, So we had talked a lot about the Lions, and that's why today presents like a somber tone throughout the show. It was a very, very entertaining NFL Championship Sunday. The second game, obviously, heartbreak, but you got to see one team triumph and storm back. And in the first game, you really, up until the end, like there was still a chance. There was still a hope that the Ravens can get out of their own way. NFL scripted is officially over because of the colors of the logos. Everyone was saying it was going to be Baltimore versus the 49ers in the Super Bowl because of the logo color. That's bullshit. Instead, we get Patrick Mahomes going to his 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years. And then we get Brock Purdy in his first attempt in a Super Bowl to dethrone Patrick Mahomes. We'll start off, though, with the Chiefs versus the Ravens. And in this game, we got to experience Lamar Jackson not utilizing what the defense was giving him all throughout the night. When I was, going into this game, I was telling everybody, I need to see Lamar Jackson early on establish that nobody on the field can touch him. And there was moments in time in the first quarter where you got to see him run around and get loose with it. However, that wasn't necessarily his primary focus. And I think that's where things, as far as my schematics of what they should have done, kind of derailed. He was kind of running based on the coverage just, being taken up and him taking coverage sacks. So Lamar not being able to find his receivers open deep, other than that Zay Flowers touchdown early on, really hindered their ability to think that their offense was, showing continuity, which it wasn't. All day long, the Ravens were relying on big-time shot plays to move the ball down the field, and that just isn't how you win championship games. What you did see early on, though, from the Chiefs' point of view, is that the Chiefs were taking what the defense gave them, and they found creative ways early to get Travis Kelce involved. It's my favorite thing to watch. And this is just like, it goes to show the football savant acumen that Andy Reid has. On the first play of most games, they're trying to get the ball to Travis Kelce. And today they put Travis Kelce in like a short motion, and then they had him sprint out to a flat route. He caught the ball like 1 yard downfield, but he got to turn up, get a little, get used to the physicality of the game, feel those linebackers out, and gain 5 yards while doing it, proving a couple of things. One, all week long, the Ravens were told, as long as we slow down Travis Kelce, we have a chance of winning this thing, and they probably also put a heavy bounty out on Isaiah Pacheco. But Andy Reid faced it head on and made sure that early in this game, Travis Kelce was going to be utilized, and he was utilized in ways that, were unique, and they were putting the Ravens in really bad positions. And with all those things being said, you saw an offense that established an identity within their first drive of the game. And that is something you cannot say about the Ravens. The one thing that I thought was really, really shitty that the Ravens did, and I think it goes to them rushing the process with Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews coming into this game thinking that you're going to get the same Mark Andrews you got before he fractured his fibula in November. That is not the same player. Not only is it not the same player, but he has to go through that same rust that the Baltimore Ravens experienced the week previous. And to get back into full game speed and game shape, it takes some time. And them blatantly neglecting playing Isaiah Likely or trying to get Isaiah Likely touches, which has been one of their better receivers over the past 5 weeks. 5 weeks prior to this, he scored a touchdown. I think it was every week except for one. 1 week he scored 2 touchdowns. So it was for the last 5 weeks, he had scored 5 touchdowns. And in this game, he ends up with 2 catches for 16 yards. It was a Wager Wars bet that I had put in thinking that, maybe the Ravens will use Mark Andrews more as a decoy in some 2 tight end sets and get the ball to Isaiah Likely. However, they just decided to prop up the corpse of Mark Andrews, because that is not the same Mark Andrews that you're going to see starting off next season. He's going to be a premier tight end, all-pro level, like he does year in and year out when he's healthy. And they rushed him back, and I haven't gone back and seen really what he was able to do in the run blocking category, but definitely in the receiving section, he finishes with 2 catches for 15 yards. He does not do what you would think Mark Andrews needed to do. Now, I just outlined how both those teams met in a way where their goal was to get their tight ends going early. The Chiefs succeeded. The Ravens did not. And the Ravens really struggled, other than a big play here and there, to develop some movement with their offense. The one thing that the Ravens did do well, though, is they slowed down Isaiah Pacheco, which is the first time I've seen Isaiah Pacheco not like run through a motherfucker's face on a regular basis. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith were playing so physical. This game, if you're going to label like what the first half was, it was, I guess you can say, excessive use of force. Every play after the play, the whistle didn't stop anybody. One of my favorite things that I've been seeing recently is these referees that are on the sideline that are explaining things to the coaches, and they're like, they relay the calls into the coaches early so that way referees aren't having to run back and forth. But when things get physical, you see these 2 referees step off the sideline. And these 2 referees on either side, no matter what was going on after the play and people were getting in each other's faces, you saw them started to sprint out on the field. It was great. Like, you thought, as that referee, you're not going to be doing anything today. And it turns out you just got, your 10,000 steps in, and it's not even halftime. So that's a fun little twist that I got to see. But let's just go right into the big-time scoring plays. So Travis Kelce scores the first touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs on a back shoulder fade. It is vintage Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Then the Zay Flowers touchdown. Then in the second quarter, capitalizing off of Ravens' mistakes, Isaiah Pacheco, 2-yard touchdown run. And then they got a field goal before the half. So they were up 17-7 going into halftime. And then the reason why this game won't really be talked about as like one of the all-time greats is because it just kind of went silent. It went so quiet in the third and the fourth quarter. You didn't get your next point scored until 2 minutes, 34 seconds left in the fourth, where Justin Tucker kicks it to give the Chiefs a chance at, using all 3 of their timeouts, along with a 2-minute warning, to get the ball back and give Lamar a chance to go down and score a touchdown. That, my friends, did not happen. The one thing that did happen is the Chiefs risked it for the biscuit on a third down, going long, MVS. There was a dude on Twitter that I saw. He had put $21,000 on Marquez Valdez-Scantling to get over 21 receiving yards, and he got all the yards at that catch to close the game off. So until the very last play of the game, this dude was sweating out $21,000 on a player prop to go over. Wow. Crazy. And it hits. And then Ravens fans, they got a lot to ponder here. They got a lot of thinking to do. I'm going to pull up some tweets here from, Gridiron Junkeez. Make sure you guys follow Gridiron Junkeez on motherfucking Twitter. We'll start with this. Make Lamar Jackson throw. That's exactly what the Chiefs' identity was earlier. They're like, if we can contain the run and make him throw the ball on us, we have a chance. And their corners played amazing. Snead was all over the place today. And then the thing that, irked me the most about Lamar Jackson is that he was not taking what the defense was giving him. And he ends up throwing for, let's see here, he ends up throwing for 272 yards. And at the time that I was writing this tweet, I didn't even know how many passing yards he had, but I knew that he left about 75 to 100 passing yards on the table from dink and dunk check down routes that would have helped possessions keep going. There was so many times in the third quarter where you saw Justice Hill or Zay Flowers, he started to try to get him involved early, but I still don't feel like they were utilizing 5-yard passes the way that they should have been using them. And had he done that, played what I consider Drew Brees type football. I watched Drew Brees do this his entire career, where Drew Brees did never passed up what the defense gave him. If the defense is giving you a 5-yard pass, you throw it with confidence and we keep it moving. If the defense provides you with answers, you need to take the answers. And sure, were their linebackers playing back, and were they going to end up closing down on that receiver that's running a 3-yard drag route or a curl route? Of course. But you take it because then it makes the plays deep down the field all the better. And had Lamar done that, I think we start saying that the Ravens could possibly win the Super Bowl, because they dogged the 49ers early on, especially when the 49ers were at home and everyone thought Brock Purdy was going to win the MVP, and then Brock Purdy throws 4 interceptions. That was the Ravens game. So the Ravens in their heads were like, man, if we could just make it, we're going to fucking dog walk this team, because we've already beat them once. There was one bit of referee fuckery that I noticed, and this came in the fourth quarter, and a pretty meaningful drive. The Ravens had one of the worst things happen to them, and that was the Zay Flowers reaching into the end zone as L'Jarius Sneed punches it out, and they get a touchback. That very next possession, the Ravens, who needed to get the ball back relatively quickly, had a third down, and then on that third down, Patrick Mahomes throws it down the field to Travis Kelce for like a 15-yard gain. But I'll let you be the judge. Was this a legal man downfield? I feel like it 100% was. Let's check it out here.
Plays of the season, 3rd and 7, and it's an illegal man downfield that they don't call. I'll show you. Illegal man downfield on the left tackle. No call. 3rd and 7.
5 yards downfield, making contact. Now, somebody did say that he was at the line of scrimmage when the ball was thrown. So I guess, but I thought you couldn't engage with a linebacker down the field when that happened. So if that does happen, you get a legal man downfield. Now it's 3rd and 12. They stop him with 14 minutes left. Who knows? Maybe the next couple of possessions for the Ravens would have been fruitful. But before I close in this game, just to explain to people the fucking snooze fest that was the third and fourth quarter. KC, 3 and out. Punt. Ravens, 3 and out. Punt. Chiefs, 8 plays. Punt. Ravens, 7 plays. Punt. Chiefs, 3 and out. Punt. Ravens, fumble. That was the big time fumble. Chiefs, next drive, 7 plays. Punt. Then you get Lamar Jackson going 12 plays down the field and then throwing it into triple coverage. One of the worst things I've ever done in my life is go on Twitter when Hulu is delayed, because I had made the video, right? So I make the video, I'm tweeting it. I'm like, it's starting to get some traction. Like, I don't tweet much. It's got 4.6 thousand impressions. I'm like, nice. I did Twitter correctly today. And then I go on Twitter and then I see like Lamar Jackson throw a pick into triple coverage. And I was like, wait, he hasn't done, fuck. It's about to, and I told Karen, I was like, you're not going to like what's about to happen. And sure enough, he throws it into a triple coverage. And Isaiah Likely, I know I was propping him up earlier for being like a player that's fucking doing good, right? give him a jump ball, Lamar, right? He put his hand up when he wants it, like, high and, gets a chance. Lamar Jackson throws just a fucking soft-ass lob pass into triple coverage, easy interception. Then the Chiefs proceed to punt. The Ravens kick a field goal, and it was the end of the game. So nobody really set the world on fire as far as the offense goes. The defense definitely stepped up. They made such a big deal, these Ravens fans, when Terrell Suggs came out in the third quarter. They were like, oh, the stadium's feeling it now. The stadium's jazzed up now. And they were kind of loud, but at the same time, it's like, dude. It's not like Renegade from the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not like a song. Terrell Suggs walked out. Okay? And he's showing the Super Bowl ring, which is just, I can only imagine Lamar's sitting there like, holy fucking shit, I can't fuck this up. No, I could be Terrell Suggs one day. I can come out and be like this. That could be me. And then, but I'm losing right now. So like, what do I do? And then hopefully I don't botch this. I really hope I don't botch this. And yeah, I just realized I retweeted everything on my own profile as opposed to the profile that I should have. Okay, so to close out, the Chiefs as underdogs, you should always take them. I took them even though I needed the Ravens to make it. I took the points. I was like, oh, they'll cover. Ravens will come back. I'm going to clean sweep, right? I'm going to win this week, and then I'm going to win big in 2 more weeks. And it didn't happen. And for back-to-back weeks, Patrick Mahomes as an underdog takes care of business, and then he's going to be an underdog in the Super Bowl, but we're going to cover that after I cover the Lions versus 49ers game. To close it off, Odell Beckham Jr., who was relatively silent throughout the entire day, had this loving moment with Lamar Jackson where he was kind of like, giving him some words of encouragement here. Right there, I just want to highlight that at the beginning of the year when they first signed OBJ, I made a clip that went viral talking about how Lamar Jackson did not want to be at the club with Odell Beckham Jr. Like, you can see it on his face. They've developed a very good relationship, these two, and I really like the player that Odell has become, because I think that he can give Lamar Jackson here some words of wisdom as far as, hey, this sucks. But let's go get our dicks wet at this strip club. And I think that's what he was telling Lamar Jackson is like, hey, dude, this blows, but Samantha down at the club blows even harder, okay? And she can make us forget about a lot of things. I went there, and I feel great, all right? And although we lost, we're always capable of winning at the end of the day. And you win by getting off. Getting off is the key, especially after a tough loss like this. All that being said, it's time to move on to the real heartbreak. We had cried about it a little bit earlier. 49ers 34, Lions 31. Early on in this game, it looked like it was about to be a mother freaking Lions rout. First drive, 4 plays where they were moving, dude. They were running, they ran double reverses and flea flickers all throughout the game, but you saw it early on. Jamison Williams breaks free on, the secondary, keeps his balance. He must have been wearing the balance bracelets from 2008 because this man got tripped up, caught himself, sprints into the end zone early on, Lions up 7-0. Then goes into a 49ers long drive, missed field goal. And that missed field goal for me was like, momentum has officially swung. All right, you get the ball to start and you score, amazing, but then you get a chance to go up 2 scores, even better, and that's exactly what they did. 11 plays, they go down until they run it up the middle with David Montgomery, which the two-headed monster was in full effect today. And before you knew it, okay, you blink your eyes, and the Lions are up 14-0, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The 49ers, formidable foes, they end up following up with a touchdown of their own. That's when they got Christian McCaffrey, I'm trying to think of what the big play was here. I think it was just a steady dose of Christian McCaffrey early. And that's typical 49er football. At the beginning of the week, I was like, all right, if the 49ers are going to win, they got to run the ball 45 times with Christian McCaffrey. And they didn't run the ball 45 times with Christian McCaffrey. They ran it 20 times. I still think you could pump those numbers up. He did take some plays off at the end of the game because he landed on his dome piece one time. But he's just that good, and you need to continue to pound the rock with him. So you go 14-7, and then to close out the half, you get a punt from the Lions. Then Brock Purdy throws an interception to Rodrigo, followed up by a touchdown. That touchdown was scored by Jahmyr Gibbs, and before you knew it, the Lions got back up to a 14-point lead, 21-7. And this is where you really could feel the 49ers fans start to panic, and you can start to hear the rumblings and see the tweets of Brock Purdy really is not him. I started off my show last week by saying Brock Purdy sucks. I retract my statement. Brock Purdy's actually pretty good. And not only is he pretty good, but he shut a lot of people up tonight in a big-time spot. He didn't fold. And we'll get to the main reason why, Brock Purdy did what he did tonight in a second. But at the end of the first half, the Lions went on a 17-play drive where they just controlled the ball. The run game was working to perfection. They were finding Laporta across the middle. They close it off 24-7. Now, we knew that the 49ers would get the ball coming out of the second half. The 49ers came down and they got points, okay? They got points. Dan Campbell, points are when points go on the scoreboard, okay? They kicked a field goal. They didn't decide, hey, this is a big momentum play and we need to, go for it. It was 4th and 8 at the time anyways. So they were willing to settle. Dan Campbell may have went for it. But then the Lions offense goes in one of the biggest funks that I've ever seen in offense I've ever seen in my life. It just did not look at all like what you saw in the first half. They turned the ball over on downs in a position where they could have kicked the field goal. And at that moment in time, after, driving the ball down the field, you have it on the 28-yard line. It's 4th and 2. You get Dan Campbell with the big set of nuts that comes out. And Dan Campbell says, we're going for it. And he throws an incomplete pass. It hits Josh Reynolds in the arms. Could the ball have been caught? Yes. Okay. But at that moment in time, you have the chance to go up by 3 possessions. And you can ask, I would say, every NFL coach in that same exact spot, what do you do? Same exact situation, and I would say a majority of them would say we kick the field goal there. You concede. It's okay to concede if you're going up 3 possessions. Now, if you kick that field goal and it's still it's a 15-point game, fuck it. Let's go for it. Let's roll the dice. But to go up 3 possessions in an NFC championship game, when it was at that moment in time, you're giving the 49ers a quarter and a half to catch up from 3 possessions. That's not a lot of time. And if you're thinking logically at that moment in time, and if there's any call that I have disagreed with Dan Campbell heavy on, it was that fucking call right there. And I said it immediately as it was happening. I'm like, you don't do this. You don't do this. Not for the fact that, okay, if we get it and we score a touchdown, great, right? You don't do it for the momentum swing, because when you play football and if you've played defense, you know what getting a stop on 4th down feels like. It feels like I have succeeded at my job. I have gotten the offense off the field with scoring no points, and even better, they had the opportunity to score points and they chose not to. It feels even better. That's getting off. For a defense, that's getting off. For the fans in Levi Stadium, they got off. And once you have a team and its fans and a big-time situation all get off at the same time, oh boy, fucking you better watch out. So that big momentous type play right there, it's 24-10 at the time. Dan Campbell had the ability to make it 27-10. That's when things and the momentum swing just swung. It swung so fucking hard, and it did not stop swinging. Usually you might see the pendulum swing back. This pendulum is infinitely swinging. You get the Brandon Ayuk almost touchdown from Brock Purdy throwing a fucking deep ball, bouncing off the face mask. And after the game, Brandon Ayuk has the courage as a grown man to say, I had a ladybug land on me in pregame. This is a grown man talking about a ladybug landing on him as like a sign of like, and he was like, and you know what that means? No,
They're
Brandon.
lucky.
Brandon, no.
It's luck. It means luck.
You know who knows that?
Who?
Somebody who's in touch with their feminine side. So Brandon Ayuk, dude, I don't know. I've had a lot of ladybugs land on me. I've never had a ball tip off a fucking receiver's face mask and I catch it in the NFC Championship game. Are you sure it was a ladybug? I don't like. That's weird.
The ladybug actually pushed it off the helmet, like he
Yeah.
He
Oh,
helped the
Cameron,
rebound.
you just gave me a great idea for a video I'm gonna make. I'm gonna literally take the slow-mo of that video. I'm gonna show the ladybug. I'm gonna show like a ladybug just like and push it to Brandon Ayuk because he said a fucking ladybug was the reason why he caught that pass. Give me a fucking break, bro. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. As soon as he said it, I was dumbfounded at the fact that he attributed his success to a ladybug.
Well, they're supposed to be lucky. That's the thing with ladybugs. When one lands on you, it's supposed to bring you good luck.
I feel like we
Or
should
we
check
just
it
let
out
our doom
together.
come?
What?
Or should we just let the doom come to us?
I think we
The
should just let
impending
the
doom.
doom come to us.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Just to fill everybody in right now, okay, we had a situation just happen in which. Yeah, and you can lock it too. Nice. Okay. We we had a situation in which we cut a portion of the show, and as we were cutting, something dropped, and we could both hear something fall, possibly in the back room. That's weird. Because we're both in it. And it happened when I clapped. See? It's weird.
Maybe there's just thin walls. Maybe it's thin walls.
Maybe
and
it's
that's
thin
why
walls.
the thing fell when
Yeah.
Marcus was yelling.
And so Cameron's now closed the door.
We are safe now.
Yeah, we're safe. Back to it. After Brandon Ayuk sets up the touchdown from Christian McCaffrey, then you get a fumble, one play in from Jahmyr Gibbs, who I've been just so excited about all year long. Jahmyr Gibbs on Wager Wars, I gave you Jahmyr Gibbs over 47 rushing yards. Jahmyr Gibbs finishes with 45 rushing yards. Yeah, so
that
it was just
beats.
a shitty day. Had I given you David Montgomery goes 15 carries for 93 yards. However, that Jahmyr Gibbs fumble was just the epitome of not only as the momentum swung, but the 49ers are for sure going to win this game. Like that, at that moment in time, I didn't want to like be speaking negatively to you, but like, because I know you would have cried, Cameron, and I'm sorry, like in the moment, you were even like, stop. Like, don't talk
Well,
like that. And I'm like,
I look over at him on the couch and he's like,
I'll show, no, literally, go split screen. Go split screen. I was like this. I was in between the couch cushions like this.
I walk up to go to the bathroom. He's just like, I said, God damn, George, they haven't lost yet. I said,
I was like, fuck yeah, they lost.
Spirits up.
I was Cameron, at that moment in time, I was
Damn.
like, it is over. Because
But you
they were
gotta
on
keep
their
the
side of the
spirits
field. You knew the 49ers were going to score. And then at that moment in time, I was like, okay, our only hope, because this did happen in the Buccaneers game where they fought back a little bit, but you had this feeling of, oh my God, the Lions have never been a team this season that plays really well from behind.
Yeah,
Like,
they hadn't been behind much this season, and when they were, they lost.
Yeah. And so we end up, going through a couple of drives here. I just want to go back to the play log because it's just it's so sad to have seen it happen live. But then even just looking back at the play log where you're like, one play fumble, 4 plays, then you got another San Fran touchdown. And then the drive of the season, when you're tied at 24, you need Jared Goff to move the ball downfield. It goes 3 and out. You got David Montgomery running the ball for 1 yard, then an incomplete pass to Laporta, then an incomplete pass to Josh Reynolds, and then it's let's punt the football. And that pass to Josh Reynolds was catchable. But Jared Goff, honestly, all night looked a little like he was just a step behind. He was throwing people not open. He was just like making them have to fight for it in a spot where you think they could catch it, but it's tough. Damn, that was so fucking disappointing when that was happening. Then you got the KC or the 49er field goal, and then the Lions on a 4th down again had an incomplete pass to our boy Amon-Ra. And then that was just the cherry on top where you're like, this is definitely it. And then the 49ers go 7 plays, and it was all set up by Christian McCaffrey, landed on his dome piece after breaking a run free, because that's just what they do. The 49ers wear you down. Do I think, and we'll go into the Super Bowl preview here in a second, do I think that's going to happen against KC? And I'm like, KC didn't let up shit run-wise today. They played stout. And I think they can do that to the 49ers. The Lions did their best, man. The Lions really did do a good job of, not only stunning the 49ers, but I would say that defense did their best given the circumstances they were given. They held them to field goals in spots where I've seen the Lions in the past give up touchdowns, but that huge 4th down and 2 on the 28-yard line will just replay in Dan Campbell's head for the rest of his life. Because you kick a field goal there, now you're tied up in the 4th quarter at its worst. You're tied up with like 6 minutes left as opposed to being down by 3. And then being down by 10. So 6 points were left on the board by our boy Dan Campbell. And the one player, and I had already apologized to him, but Brock Purdy, he did a thing tonight in which I was so stunned as it was happening, because it's the last thing that you're going to think Brock Purdy will do. Cameron, if you give me a screen share right here. This is a huge moment in the game, 24-27. And Brock Purdy's legs, people underestimate him. Alex Anzalone with a perfect fucking angle here. Alex Anzalone, and he's such a good leader for that Lions defense. However, I've seen him miss this tackle 75 times this season. Like, literally, it's disgraceful. I just have to, like, fast forward into this video. Oh, stop playing. Go back to me. That's a bummer. Look at that. It's just a sign. That's just a sign that we don't need to be watching Brock Purdy scramble. But Brock Purdy goes for 50-plus rushing yards today. All playoffs long, I was like, you guys should be looking at these over-under quarterback rushing props. And I don't know what Brock Purdy's was, but I did have to pull up Brock Purdy's stats from the season to see how many times he's rushed for over 50 yards. He did it once against the Cincinnati Bengals when they lost 31-17. He had 6 rushes for 57 yards. And then week 1, he had 3 rushes for 20 yards. This game, 5 carries for 48 yards. Wow. It's the one thing you don't think Brock Purdy is capable of. But this is the same way we felt about Patrick Mahomes when he was first going through his playoff runs. I remember vividly that he was a pocket passer until he didn't need to be a pocket passer. And now we all just know Patrick Mahomes has got it in him. Now I would like to see Brock Purdy continue to play with this level of, wherewithal with his legs. Because there's been plenty of times where I'm like, Brock Purdy is just taking like sacks in which he probably should not be taking sacks. I would like to see him go on the run, try to find people while he's moving. And he did that today better than I think I could have ever expected from him. And now that he has set a standard and a precedence that he needs to play like that. Lions lose. Lions lose. There was so many just saddening things from this. The one thing, though, that is hilarious, honestly hilarious. We all love Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had this tweet after the Lions lost. And Cameron, if you want to pull up that screen share there. Dan Campbell is the first coach with CTE. And then hashtag CTESPN.
Wait, the first comment?
Oh, shit. That's hilarious. No, it's not CTE. This man is on. He's got that chewing tobacco in.
He's got a powdered sugar addiction.
Can we just expect greatness like this from Antonio Brown's Twitter on the regular? That's one of the best tweets I've seen ever in my entire life. Because it's true. Dan Campbell played in the NFL. He hit a lot of people. I would say even D'Amico Ryans probably had CTE. But Dan Campbell's got like the CTE where, like fucking Mike Webster from the movie Concussion, where he's like stun gunning himself to sleep. Like, oh, I just got the demons in my brain. That's the level of CTE that Dan Campbell has. Antonio Brown has this level of CTE. You can't even comprehend the level of CTE that Antonio Brown's got going on. It would be nice to know who Antonio Brown's social media manager is, because they got a job. I'll hire him. That was hilarious. You need to start working on comedy shows. That's it. Now it's time for the Super Bowl preview. My Super Bowl preview is brought to you by Go Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom. I'm representing very hard for you guys, just like how I did the last time you guys played the 49ers. In that last game with the 49ers, I had chosen Kyle Juszczyk to have the first touchdown. I think I still put that prop in. That cashed for me last time at like 30-1. Kyle Juszczyk. That's the only player on the 49ers that I'm rooting for. Other than that, Chiefs Kingdom. Pull up my Twitter really quick here, Cameron. This is what I'm hoping for. I cannot wait to see Chris Jones fucking right behind Andy Reid play with his man boobies again in the Super Bowl, because it's going to be iconic. Everybody's going to be replaying this. You can just see him come up from behind and just man hug and then just blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. Can't wait to see that again. Chiefs, 2.5-point underdogs. I'm seeing now that from John Ewing, this was another tweet saying that it has now gone down to 1.5. Regardless, Chiefs as an underdog in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is 10-1-1 against the spread as an underdog. So you best believe that you need to ride the Patrick Mahomes train. He's got 2 weeks to prepare. His team is healthy. I think this could very well be a rout. Like I'm going to take alternative lines on this to try to juice it in my favor here, but I really do like the Chiefs -5.5, all the way up to -7.5. I don't care. I am Chiefs all the way, and I know those alternative spreads might scare you because Super Bowls, they're played tight. I don't know, man. The Lions had a lot of inexperience in that second half. Had the Lions, been a team that has been there for the past 2 to 3 years, and they have like the mentality that we have this in the bag, we just have to dial in. I don't think the 49ers come close. The 49ers got ran on early. And I'm never going to forget it. They got ran on early against the Packers. They're a team that has not faced a team that has experience in the playoffs. They've been very lucky with their opponents that they've faced so far. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have not been so lucky. Going into Buffalo to defeat Josh Allen, not an easy task. Going into Baltimore to defeat the person who's going to win the MVP, not an easy task. And the best defense, allegedly, that they were going to face all year, the defense that held Brock Purdy to 4 interceptions and dominated them on national television. It wasn't a task. The Chiefs dominated them. So the 49ers in this little easy road, okay? They've had an easy road. Dan Campbell practically hands them a fucking Super Bowl trip on a silver platter. They'd take it, okay? They're going to get throttled. Chiefs by 1,000. I am taking every single Chiefs prop over all day. I'm taking under on a lot of things. I'm taking under on Christian McCaffrey rushing yards. I'm taking under on George Kittle receptions. I'm taking under on Brock Purdy's touchdowns. Chiefs are routing them. I'm pulling it out now. Mahomes magic munch. Okay? Mahomes magic crunch. I've been saying munch. It's crunch. Mahomes magic crunch. Get yourself some. Because it's going to be a rout. 47.5 is the total right now. Give me the under. But give me the Chiefs -10. The 49ers are going to get fucking throttled. Do you have anything? Do you have any predictions for the Super Bowl? That is literally the entire prediction that I'm going to give on every show from now till the end of the fucking year. My prediction remains the same. Chiefs, everything. Give me alternate spreads. I do like the under 47.5. Super Bowls are played tight. Lots of field goals. Cameron, prediction.
It's a tough one. Because it'd be nice for the 49ers to win, so we could say we lost to the Super Bowl champs, but I think I'm going to take the Chiefs. Chiefs, maybe a couple of prop bets here and there. I don't know which one's it.
Yeah. You got to look at your...
We're taking Chiefs.
Yes.
Probably the under 2.
Thank you.
Probably the under 2. Yeah.
Thank you. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are wrapping up the football season. We have one game left. And then comes the offseason, and there's going to be plenty of things to be keeping us entertained in the offseason. I'm planning on taking up the same route that I took last year during the offseason. There's people that we have to revisit, bringing them back on, seeing their predictions from earlier in the year till now, Big Body Cisco being one of them. We will be having a Super Bowl prediction show with Big Body Cisco, and I'm going to try to find a Chiefs fan, and we're going to see. I'm gonna be the mediator of these two, like a Stephen A. Smith first take debate. We're going to be having on Madden players, the best in the world. There's like a little streamer kid. I keep forgetting what his name is, but he's always going like this. This is great. I like this. And he's like, I got to find his name. I don't know what his name is, but he streams. I want him in the studio. I want to play him in Madden. That's the route I'm taking. I'm going to be playing a lot of Madden with people. We'll do some live streams tagged along with just dope podcasts. I'm going to be doing that for the Action Junkeez, or shall I say, the Junkeez 24-hour live stream, where I'm going to be getting some time to host on my show. I'm bringing people on to play Madden. That's that. I want to make my time during the 24-hour podcast a video game fun-like atmosphere. So I'm going to do that. And then we have a college football show that's going to be starting with who other than my brother. That'll be starting up in the spring too. So although we have one more game left, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow at Gridiron Junkeez. We are going to be having content coming out on the motherfucking reg. Check out Wager Wars. Before the Super Bowl, we're going to be going super in detail with some of our favorite props. That show has been one of my favorite shows that I've done throughout this entire year is Wager Wars. So make sure you go back and you watch those videos. Give them a like too. And then, Cameron.
Yes.
We get to do this all again next year.
Woo!
Really this year in August. We get to do this all over again.
I can't
and
wait.
I can't wait either.
Can't wait.
Because the same way I feel right now, I feel like I'm going to feel even better next year because I got the knowledge that I should never bet against Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Take us out. I'm never doing it. He's winning every Super Bowl till he fucking retires. He's the best. He's the greatest.